In key skill 1, we're going to be converting from degrees into radians and vice versa from radians into degrees. Now, it's important to remember where we finished up in the previous key skill, which was we'd come to the conclusion that 180 degrees is pi radians. We'd come to that conclusion because we knew that 360 degrees covered a length of 2 pi r around the outside of the circle, and we know that 1 radian covered a distance of r, and once we made those proportions equivalent and compared them, 360 was equivalent to 2 pi radians. So how I like to do this is I always solve all proportionality questions the same. So I draw a line. What I would like to find, I put it here, x. So I'd like to find x, which is equivalent to 60 degrees. So top left box is what you want to find. That matches up or is equivalent to 60 degrees. Now you're always going to use the 180 degrees is equivalent to pi radians. Now it's pretty good because you know that degrees should be on the same level with degrees and radians should be on the same level with radians. This direction you would put pi and 180 because they're equivalent, but we don't know what x is equivalent to. Then you just set it up as an algebraic fraction. X over 60 is equal to pi over 180. You move the divide by 180 to the other side and make it a times by. Cancel down your fraction. 6 and 18 can be divided by 6, so that's going to be 1 and 3. So that must be x is equal to pi divided by 3. Let's try another one a little bit quicker now. So I want to find how many radians would be equivalent to 135 degrees, but I know 180 degrees is equivalent to pi radians. So x divided by 135 is equal to pi divided by 180 times by 135. If you want, you can use your calculator to help cancel that down. So you could have pi over 180 times by 135, and it'll cancel down the fraction for you. So that would be 3 pi over 4. If not, you can also divide by 5 and go from there. Last one, going from degrees into radians. So we have x corresponds to 270 when 180 corresponds to pi. So x divided by 270 is pi divided by 180 times by 270. X equals pi divided by 180 times 270. Cancel down the zeros and divide by 9. So you'd have x is equal to 3 pi divided by 2. Because 27 divided by 9 is 3 and 18 divided by 9 is 2. So just cancel your fraction down. Slightly more complicated the other way, but the same process. So we don't know the degrees, but we know the radians would be pi over 12. So now I'm flipping it the other way because what I want to find is degrees and what I know is radians. So in that sense, over here I need to put pi and up here 180 degrees because my radians need to be in a line together and my degrees in a line together. So now it would be x divided by pi over 12 equals to 180 divided by pi. I move that divided by pi over 12 to the other side and change it to a multiply. Now here you always want to cancel out your pi's, and 180 and 12 can both be divided by 6. That can be divided by 6 twice. 18 could be divided by 6 3 times, so this would be 30. So in the end your fraction would be x is equal to 30 over 1 times 1 over 2. So x would be equal to 15. 30 divided by 2 is 15. It's important to remember when you cancel, you should actually write a little 1. Lots of people forget that and think it's a 0. So we're just going to repeat the process here. X degrees is equivalent to pi over 3 radians. When we know pi is equivalent to 180 degrees. You can also just multiply it directly. So this should be the fraction, and you see why that's why the line's there, because that should be 180 divided by pi, and you can always just multiply by this number here. cancel down the pi's for 1s. And 3 and 18 can both be divided by 3, so that's 1. 3 goes into 18 6 times, so it'd be 60. So x is going to be 60 over 1 times 1 over 1, which is 60 degrees. And that's a wrap. Try out your key skill questions and see if you're ready to move on to the next key skill.